so it came to pass. It was 90 years back. Kaivalyadham, meaning the abode of liberation, was founded in Lonavala. Founded by Swami Kuvalayananda.
Swami Kuvalayananda had the difficult task of making science conform to spirituality. He wanted to reveal the basic universal truth manifest in yoga by demystifying it through science.
He wanted to challenge the exclusionary teaching of the so-called occultists and recover what he regarded as pure yoga.
Where was this pure yoga? Well, it was manifest in the classical texts and in the teachings of his master, Madhavadas ji.
Now, at that time, there were hardly any institutions that taught yoga formally, even as a physical exercise. This ancient and mystical science had not stepped into the modern academic environment.
Kuvalayananda had already designed the framework for the institution. The blueprint was ready. The ideals, the work procedure, the financial requirements, and purpose of the project were well defined. It was a combination of Western and Eastern thought and culture. The ideal was to work out a philosophy that would provide maximum benefit to humanity.
There were to be libraries, laboratories, and hospitals, research staff and research subjects, yogic therapy providers and patients, teachers and students, classrooms and outreach programs. And the vehicle for communication for all this, the Yoga Mimamsa Journal.
The June 1924 issue of the journal Yoga Mimamsa states that the research work so far led to certain conclusions.
First, the yogic system of physical culture resulted in the highest physical efficiency, maximum brain power, and extended longevity.
Second, yoga as a system of preventive exercises keeps the whole nervous and glandular system in the healthiest condition. Third, yoga as a system of therapeutics is capable of curing chronic diseases and even mental disorders.
The years from 1924 to 1930 were hectic. Swami Kuvalayananda single-handedly became the fundraiser, the research director, the teacher, the presenter, the writer-publisher, and the therapist.
Swamiji approached the princely states. Wealthy individuals made magic lantern presentations at major institutes, met important people, and wrote innumerable letters seeking assistance.
It must have been very, very difficult.
It was in 1935 when I started teaching. There were very few books. For example, in Bombay, at that time it was called Bombay Presidency, which was from Rajasthan to South India. There were only 5-6 yoga teachers.
Swami Kuvalayananda had to tread the fine line between accepting small donations from many different people along with the effort that goes with it, or surrender the autonomy of the institute for substantial funds and grants. He chose the former.
Yale and Harvard universities approached him with offers of help. However, the research would have to be based in the United States.
The research direction would have to primarily focus on the therapeutic benefits. Kuvalayananda refused. The research would be based in India and would expand to science and classical Sanskrit literature.
4 events had helped the fund situation of Kaivalyadham initially. First was when some friends of Kuvalayananda came forward to bear the costs of initial research work. Second was the donation of a generous 5,000 rupees from Sri Pratap Seth, who was the founder of the Institute of Philosophy in Amalner. Third was the yearly grant of 3,000 rupees from the Maharaja of Porbandar.
And lastly, Lalaji Gokuldas, an advocate of Bombay High Court, donated a plot of land in Borivali, now a suburb of Mumbai. There were many others who helped.
Some of the first experiments conducted at Kaivalyadham were focused on the effects of pranayama. Kuvalayananda was trying to establish the relationship between the subtle and gross features of physiology.
Swami Kuvalayananda and others conducted experiments on brain waves, pulse rates, and blood pressure to discover the subtle flow of prana in the gross bodily functions. The focus was on the subtle, as laid out in the yogic texts. And Kuvalayananda and his team tried to establish the subtle through its relationship with the gross. They were designing experiments that would make the invisible visible.
Here was a man who had taken his analysis away from the inherently bounded ideas of Indian philosophy and spirituality into the domain of the modern conditions of life.
Swami Kuvalayananda was a tireless worker. Between 1924 and India's independence in 1947, he had made his work known to major nationalist leaders like Gandhi, Nehru, Lala Lajpat Rai, and many others. Gandhi had approached him for treatment. His work attracted the attention of a few researchers in the United States and in Eastern Europe. People came from Columbia and Yale universities, from the universities of California and Colorado. They came from Czechoslovak Academy of Sciences and the Medical University of Budapest. They found an atmosphere of quiet culture and scholarship at Kaivalyadham. They described Swami Kuvalayananda with his long white corkscrew hair, white walrus mustache, and round-rimmed glasses on penetrating eyes as radiating an air of saintliness.
In 1934, the government allotted a plot of land in Mumbai for a yogic health center. Over the years, thousands of people benefited from the training and the therapy facilities.
The GS College of Yoga and Cultural Synthesis came into being in 1951 as a result of a substantial donation from a wealthy individual.
Initially, there was a 2-year course leading to the Diploma of Yoga Pravishta. A student of the 1957 batch, currently the Secretary of Kaivalyadham, Sri O.P. Tiwari, asked Swami Kuvalayananda once, "Why does it have to be a diploma, Swamiji, after such a rigorous postgraduate level of study?" Kuvalayananda replied, "You cannot be more than that in the field of yoga in 2 years."
The Swami scientist educator carried on with his experiments in an ashram laboratory, trying to prove that yoga is real.
As Joseph Alter writes in his book Yoga in Modern India,
Yoga was not simply modernized by Swami Kuvalayananda. Yoga was analyzed in such a way that it has come to harmonize with the modernity manifest in science to create an alternative. And to a large extent, it is this harmonic hybridity that has enabled yoga to colonize the West.
Swami Kuvalayananda passed away in 1966. He left a message on the blackboard in his bedroom. It reads, "The wise who look inward, they get permanent peace, not others. One should accept whatever comes one's way without losing heart."
He left another message on his office table, carved into the wooden paperweight. "If you want to live, then learn to die."
And also in his prayer room, a framed picture on the wall states, "For the yogi, praise and insult are verily poison and nectar. The wise declare that insult is nectar, and praise the gravest poison."
तमात्मस्थं येनु पश्यन्त धीराः तेषां शान्तिः शाश्वती नेतरेषाम्। प्राप्तम् उपासीत हृदयेन पराजिता।